While Donald Trump is keeping the world busy thinking about his plans on Iran, he hasn't forgotten about Venezuela, and definitely not about its oil. But one thing is not sitting right. The US is selling Venezuelan oil as it had plans to do, but the money from this sale is going to a bank in Qatar. Why? I'm Ananya Datta. Let's get started. First things first, let's understand Trump's oil plans in Venezuela. Since January 3rd, when the US forces entered Caracas and abducted then-President Nicolas Maduro on charges of drug trafficking, the US president had declared himself as the leader of the Caribbean country, which also puts him in charge of the world's largest known oil reserve. Trump has been brutally honest about his plans of selling Venezuelan oil since day one. What the money will be used for? Not so much.
We're bringing Venezuela back, and we're going to be great for Venezuela, great for our country. We're taking in, as I said, millions and millions of barrels of oil. And now they're coming in initially on a daily basis, 50 million, and values of over $5 billion. That's in one day.
And somehow, the US has also got the interim leader of Venezuela, led by this woman, Maduro's number 2 as she is often called, on board with the plan.
Venezuela is open to energy relations where all parties benefit, where economic cooperation is very well determined in commercial contracts. That is our position and the diversity of our energy relations.
Now, this was a well thought out plan. You see, Venezuela's petro sector owes a lot of money, $170 billion to be exact. These are over defaulted bonds, foreign companies, bilateral creditors like China and Russia, and others. Now that Venezuelan oil is being sold, these people who are owed money are standing first in line to get their dues cleared. But Trump has declared that those cheated during Maduro's era will not be compensated. The US president has gone to the extent of signing an executive order to make sure no one touches the money, not even Venezuela. The order blocks courts and creditors from seizing the revenue generated from the deals.
In the short term, it would make a difference because of the rerouting of the oil exported from Venezuela. So that will shift where that oil goes from the black market in China predominantly to largely the United States. So one can expect that at least 500,000 and probably close to all Venezuela's exports could go to the US.
So according to plan, Trump's oil friends in Venezuela sold their first batch of Venezuelan oil. It was valued at $500 million. And most of this money has been directed to Qatar. And this is according to sources close to this American news website. The senior administration officials claim that the US has created an offshore bank account in Qatar that will be holding the money received from selling Venezuelan oil. The justification given for this is Qatar is a neutral location where money can flow freely with US approval and without risk of seizure. In plain language, it means that Qatar is a strong ally of the US. It boasts the title of the highest GDP per capita in the Middle East, and most importantly, the volatile waters of the region does not touch it. Trump's friendly relationship with Qatar has previously been the talk of the town, like in May last year when he was heavily criticized for accepting a $400 million Boeing jet as a gift from the country. But it will be wrong to pin down Trump for his overly friendly relations with the Middle Eastern country. 2020 Democrats presidential hopeful Elizabeth Warren has criticized the president, saying this, and I'm quoting, "This is precisely a move that a corrupt politician would be attracted to." But in reality, Qatar has long served as a middleman. Speaking of Democrats, the previous president, Joe Biden, used Qatar as a bridge to transfer $6 billion in Iranian funds that had been frozen under US sanctions during a prisoner swap exchange. Specifically talking about Venezuela, Qatar has a proven record of being a facilitator between the US and Venezuela, much before Maduro met his ill fate. But this offshore account is also ensuring that tomorrow, if there is a new backlash in Venezuela against the US actions, the oil money would have already left the country. So here's the whole picture. The oil is Venezuelan, the account is Qatari, the rules are American. You can call this black gold, but the reality is This is definitely grey. I'm Ananya Datta. Thanks for watching Hindustan Times.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.